Hello, my name is Allison Whiting, Whiting. I want to thank the county for taking a continuous public hearing approach to this file, as I noticed that is not always the case. In many instances, the public are not given the opportunity to comment on amended plans. With regards to motion 2, I support the proposed amendment and believe it is imperative that we continue to explicitly recognize agricultural lands as a priority for the county. The Agriculture Master Plan vision states that Rocky View County is a community where agriculture and agricultural lands are valued, respected, and protected. Admin's alternative language does not align with this vision, and we must have alignment between the Ag Plan and the MDP. Otherwise, the county will not have clear direction for itself when assessing new development proposals. Admin's argument that the proposed amendment may position agriculture above other communities is weak. Key objectives of the MDP are supposed to be protecting and preserving ag lands and ag operations. Growth needs to be assessed in relation to these impacts on those objectives, and that's what balance means. For motion 4, I support the proposed amendments to eliminate highway business hubs. I fail to see how typical highway business hubs, such as gas stations, convenience stores, and fast food places that are primarily intended to serve people traveling through the area on their way to some other destination, capture emerging business opportunities, benefit local communities, or align with the goals of the MDP. It also gives developers a major loophole to buy up and develop outside of the identified areas of growth. If Council is serious about ensuring that future development actually achieves the MDP's first goal, which is to focus development into areas identified for growth, highway business hubs need to be eliminated. And quite frankly, I do not believe that administration have adequately demonstrated that the hurdles and policies in place are high or strong enough to limit the proliferation of random commercial development along Rocky View's highways. For motion 6, I support the proposed amendment to eliminate policy 11.14 that introduces the possibility of non-ag related culture, tourism, and hospitality land uses into agricultural areas. While admin's alternative amendment is better than what was there, it is still not acceptable. As written, it continues to contradict all the feedback received in both the MDP and the Ag Master Plan engagement. The Ag Master Plan What We Heard report includes concerns explicitly identifying incompatible tourism operations as detrimental to agriculture. If the county does not eliminate this policy in the MDP, the county is signaling that these land uses are acceptable. The MDP already permits agritourism operations, which is largely supported by agricultural community. So again, I find it concerning that we continue to leave open blatant backdoor entryways for developers to scoop up land and propose developments that contradict the spirit and the vision of the MDP. For motion 7, I support Councillor Wright's proposed amendment to remove second farmstead out policy rather than Councillor Hansen's alternative. Firstly, this policy was not part of the MDP public engagement, which only questioned whether first parcels out should be retained, and that received only lukewarm support. Saying that 66% of respondents in the MDP engagement supported second farmstead out because they generally supported the approach taken in the agricultural policies is grossly misleading. If you look at the comments that were collected, there was a mixed views on both first and second farmstead out policies. The second farmstead out policy is not consistent with recommendations in the Ag Master Plan or the feedback from its engagement. Again, we need to ensure that the Ag Master Plan and the MDP are aligned in their vision for Rocky View County. Otherwise, Council will struggle to be able to make sound and supported decisions for the future of our county. I'll also note that the Ag Master Plan recommends county examine ways to address housing flexibility through the land use bylaw that would minimize fragmentation of ag land. And I recommend that administration take that approach rather than the second parcels out that magnify fragmentation. For motions 8 and 9, I support the proposed amendments to tighten the definitions of agribusiness and agritourism. Admins say that the definitions were developed jointly through the MDP and AMP engagement. However, I could identify no specific consultation on these definitions, no survey questions, or highlights at open houses. Assuming support or agreement with any specific detail on the ag section because there was generalized support for the sections is a big stretch. When we do look at the feedback from the Ag Master Plan, we find that it does not support indiscriminate locations for agribusinesses. Only 12% of respondents supported locating businesses that offer services linked to agricultural or rural environments anywhere in ag areas, and there was even less support for locating businesses that directly support ag operators and producers anywhere in ag areas. Far more respondents favored locating agribusinesses in existing communities or near existing businesses. In closing, I was at the first public hearing, and the common thread I heard throughout people's presentations was that they do not trust the county to stick to the spirit and vision of the MDP. If these blatant loopholes remain in place, then I believe residents have every right to remain concerned. The county needs to rebuild trust with residents, and I believe that closing these loopholes is a good first step. Thank you.